I'm from New York City, Queens, Woodside. I grew up in an area, very middle class. My parents were different. My mother was deaf and my father was a deaf mute. And they were remarkable people, very remarkable people. My mother, who lost her hearing when she was about 13 years old, wanted to become a concert pianist, and she taught me to play the piano. She couldn't hear, but she gave me lessons, and she really instilled the love that I have for the arts today. She took me to movies. She couldn't hear them, but she took me to every movie that played, the local theater, and they were really unique people. My mother was killed in an automobile accident about 10 years ago, and Daddy died about 3 years ago, and I gotta tell you, I never thought I would be happy about it, but I wouldn't like to give him this news right now. I'm the apple of their eye, and I wouldn't want to lay that trip on them. I fell in love when I was 19 with a young German girl named Anna, and I fell in love with her. I truly did, and we lived together for 3 years. To this day, I wish I would have married her. But in those days, I had a drug problem and an alcohol problem. And she had already experienced that with her father, and she just couldn't handle it. And we decided to split or separate. I was about 22 years old then, and certainly the drugs and the alcohol weren't helping then, and they got me in a lot of trouble. It was pretty wild. I think I've had AIDS for about 3 years. I haven't felt right in that period of time. I've done some considerable traveling for the studio that I work for. And as an example, when I was in London, I was promoting a film called Psycho 3 with Tony Perkins. And one day we got on a plane, and he looked at me and he said, "What's the matter?" And I looked at him and I said, "Tony, I think I have AIDS." And he said, "Is that what this is all about? Is that why you have such concern in your eyes all the time?" And indeed, we were at the Dorchester, and I spent 3 days in bed. I couldn't get out of bed. And the tour was cut short. We got another publicist, actually, to take over for Tony, and I had to fly back. And at that point, I knew that I was in real big trouble. I did a lot of work with AIDS patients at St. Joseph's Hospital, and I truly knew what to expect. I'm also educated about the disease. I've taken courses at UCLA. I wanted to learn as much as I could so I could work with AIDS patients. I'm not angry anymore at all, no. I had to go through my stages. I went through denial. I think all these things are normal. You go through denial. You go through your anger. And then you try to make a deal with God. And then you finally let it go and you live one day at a time. I believe Norman Cousins in his latest book talks about the fact that he had cancer. And his greatest therapy, and they had written him off, his greatest therapy was the Marx Brothers films. He would watch them over and over and over again. And his book was Laughter is the Best Medicine, I believe. And what laughter does to a person is it creates a certain type of adrenaline in the body that's healing, that causes the immune system to react and the whole body to react together. So I have been doing the same thing. I've been watching It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World over and over again, and 9 to 5, and Andy Mame, and I've been watching all the Marx Brothers comedies, and I just laugh and laugh and laugh, and I forget about what's going on in my body and what's happening, and I start feeling good again. Physically, I'm not as strong as I used to be. I have cancer, I have KS. My body is not what it was even 6 months ago. But you know, I don't notice it anymore. It just doesn't seem to matter anymore to me. What matters is what's inside. I have worked in the motion picture industry as a publicist for 22 years. I'm well established in the business and fairly well known in the business. There has never been a problem for me about being gay. Nor was there a problem when I finally got the diagnosis. In fact, that very same day, I went into the studio and I called in the various department heads within our area and said, would you please tell your staff that I have AIDS, and that if they're uncomfortable with it, please come and see me and we'll talk about it. Well, the support and the love that I've gotten from everyone, I haven't kept this private. Everybody knows, my neighbors know. It's a tough thing because, gosh, people love you. Your friends and your family, they love you. And they don't want to hear this. They don't want to know it. And it was just a period that I got through. I have never noticed any prejudice against myself. Not at all, not from my work or from anybody. But I understand that I'm a rare instance. I get down on my knees and thank God that I have that kind of support around me, because there are so many AIDS patients and ARC patients that have been fired, they've lost their job, they've lost their homes, they've lost their parents have run away from the situation. If they had a significant other, that person has left. And this is a tragic thing. I mean, these are good people, hard-working people, people that contributed to society. And I can do a turnabout on me and just imagine what would happen to me if I suddenly had lost all of that, if I couldn't work, if I didn't have the support. What a nightmare. What a terrible thing to do to a human being. And there are thousands out there that are being treated that way. Because I was being monitored, I had a KS lesion on my right leg, and I was being monitored, and I went in for a biopsy finally. And there's no question about being optimistic about something. Nobody wants to hear that they have a life-threatening disease. Nobody does. And until the last minute, there's always hope. But when my doctor walked into the office, very attractive woman, the look on her face, and I looked at her and I said, it's okay, I've got big shoulders. That was my first realization that it has happened, Paul, that it is what you think it is. And I wanted to comfort her. I wanted to comfort her more than I wanted to comfort myself. I'm still doing that. I still crack a lot of jokes about AIDS, one joke after another, and it's not a cover-up. I'm just trying to ease people, to relax them, and say that, hey, it's okay. I'm a planner and a coordinator. By trade, I am. I've made arrangements already for my funeral arrangements, and I went to Forest Lawn several weeks ago. My will is taken care of. The homes have already been given away. Everything has been taken care of. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not in a rush. There's always hope. Several months ago, I got pretty sick. And my friends and I, we thought that I would actually die over that evening. And I had said goodbye to some people. It was really a test run. And I can look back and laugh at it because it's truly Betty Davis in Dark Victory. I mean, I should have put the apron on. I should have been planting some marigolds or something. The only thing I was missing was a full orchestra. It was great. It was very theatrical. Well, we can laugh about Dark Victory, but really that's what I want. I would like, when my time comes, whether it be next week, next year, or when I'm 100 years old, I don't want to be hooked up to anything. I was asked by my doctor to go into the hospital 3 weeks ago. I had a stomach flu. And we're still not sure what it is, and I still have some problems with my stomach, but I chose not to do it. I choose to keep on going. I choose not to be in a hospital. So my choice is that if I indeed become ill, I will stay home, I will get into bed, and my friends will support me. And I will make that passing, that crossing, and that's how I will do it. Well, this is a personal thing, and it's going to take just 2 minutes. Okay. Well, this is to all my friends, to my beloved Nadia, and to my brother Peter, and to the Cole Street Country Club, Candy and Danny, and Sharon, and Christina, and Robert. There's so many names, all my friends back east, and all my friends all over the world, all these people that mean so much to me. I want to tell you that there's one thing that always bridges the gap between life and death, and that's love. And if you ever want me, close your eyes and I'll be there. I love you all. Bye-bye.